everybody? It's your boy King Hustle. And yes, this is the best money and credit channel on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell. So whenever I drop new sauce, new lessons, new methods, and giveaways, you will be the first one to be notified. You will be the first one to know what's going on. And hey, you might be the first one to win something for free. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell on all the YouTube channels. Also, make sure you follow me on my Twitch, King Hustle Live. I do all my freebies and giveaways from those YouTube channels in the Twitch. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell so you won't miss out on nothing. Also, make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. All you gotta do is click the title in every video. Once you click the title in every video, at the bottom of the description, all my social media links will pop up. All right, got a lot of fake King Hustle pages out there, so please get a FaceTime verification call or video to make sure you see this face. Make sure you are doing legit business and you are getting what you paid for. All right. And before we get anything started, this is all educational purposes only, not telling anybody to do anything. So let's get this thing started. Hey, let's get this thing started. Hey, what to do, my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there, my real Hustle Nation Empire family members, and we are back at it again with the gems, and back at it again with the sauce, back at it again with the information that's gonna turn you into a boss. So you're tired of being a zero, you ready to be a family hero? Listen up, take a seat, get your notepad and get your pen, because you already know when I drop these videos and y'all get them notifications, it's gonna be some information that's gonna help you win, keep you informed, or keep you entertained. So with that being said, you know how we get down over here. We back at it again with these new bank methods, these new scams, these new fraudulent activities that's going on in the world. They got everybody and their mama trying to do it, and got some people, mamas, brothers, sisters, cousins, little baby sons, and little baby daughters making some cash. All right. So with that being said, let's get into these new methods. All right. So the world is become a different place. Everybody is doing some type of method, some type of scam, some type of fraud to generate some type of revenue. And it really stems from COVID-19 because COVID-19 presented a lot of different programs that brought fraudulent activity, PPP loans, EDD loans, et cetera, et cetera. So by social media being here and by people getting money and flashing money, it brought light to the scam, the fraud, and the dark way of world. So now people are under the impression that now, well, more people know about the dark web, and more people and everybody thinks everything is a scam, right? Especially if anybody sees anybody with a lot of money, they automatically think somebody's scamming, which is ridiculous. That got to be the most brokest mentality that you can ever have in life. Just because somebody got a lot of money does not mean they're a scammer. And that's really some hating words because a lot of people who hate on scammers are mad because they make a lot of money easier and faster than anybody else. That's why a lot of people hate on scammers and fraudsters or whoever, because they make the money that other people wish they could make easier and faster, right? So a lot of people hate, like when it comes in real life, you'll be surprised who's a hater. And everybody got a jealous bone in them, but sometimes that jealous bone can be motivation, but a lot of times it's just jealousy. Like a lot of people see other people winning and they get jealous. Some people see other people winning and they get them motivated and make them go harder, right? But most people are haters. So that's why a lot of people don't like quote unquote scammers or fraudsters, because a lot of people out here work hard, go to work 9 to 5s, and then they got this perception that scammers don't do nothing but just make this easy free money, and fraudsters do nothing but make this free easy money. But at the end of the day, if the opportunity presented themselves, that same person, would take it and make them some money too. So this world is a real crazy place. But it's the real world. People are really doing these things. People are really committing crimes. So there are common scams out there that has been going on for the ages. Check fraud, credit card fraud, and identity theft. These three scams right here, or these three fraudulent activities, have been the main source of obtaining fraudulent funds for the longest. Now, check fraud, but everything elevates. Everything has an evolution to it. Everything, like the evolution of the Power Ranger, the evolution, everything has an evolution. Like everything gets better and better and better. So by the government and these businesses making it easier for people to open up bank accounts and get loans, credit cards, lines of credit, do certain things, they're also making it easier for the scammers and the fraudsters to do the exact same thing. Wherever there's money being made, there's going to be some type of scam or fraud being committed. Now, there are a lot of silly criminals out here, a lot of dumb criminals out here that commit check fraud. And then there are a lot of people who actually takes their time to sit down and interpret and do their research to figure certain things out. Now, like I said, this is all educational purposes only, not telling anybody to do anything. But at the end of the day, people are actually committing these type of crimes: bank fraud, credit card fraud, check fraud, etc., etc. So as the years and the world evolved and the years go on, things elevate, right? So it used to be where back in the day, probably 25 years ago, 26 years ago, early 2000s, late 99s, right? A lot of people used to commit check fraud, and what they used to do is they get their own checks, or they'll find a check and they'll basically deposit that check into their account, and the check will eventually bounce, but they already got the money and they just close the account down and that person will owe that bank some money. Now it's got to the point where people are catching federal charges with doing these exact same crimes because so many people are doing it that it's to the point where they have no choice but to make it a federal crime because that money is basically being stolen from the bank because you didn't have that money in there and the bank is the one who cleared it. So you're taking the bank's money. So with these type of scams being promoted on social media, the dark web, people are green. People are naive and people are thirsty. So if somebody presents something, especially with some checks, or somebody knows somebody who didn't cash a fake check before and they was successful at it, that's automatically gonna brainwash somebody and want make them want to do it, especially if that person is still doing it. So the evolution of check fraud. A lot of times there's different ways to commit check fraud, first of all, for the scammers and the fraudsters. Some people rob mailboxes and hopefully they find checks. Some people rob mail carriers. Some people do their research and figure out, okay, these businesses still mail out checks and invoices. So then they start doing their research on where these businesses are, where their mailboxes are, and what days they mail out their mail and things like that. Then you got people who are putting people in positions to work at the post office and handle mail and intercept mail and checks and things like that. People still mail checks for some odd reasons. I don't even know why checks are still a thing, but they are. And they made it easier for people to actually take a picture of a check and deposit that check into a bank account. So if you all you gotta do is take a Snapchat of a picture of a check and you can deposit that into your account. What do you think these scammers and fraudsters are doing? Now, this is the problem with checks. Also, there's a lot of different red flags when it comes to checks for those scammers and the fraudsters. First of all, with a check comes identity, and either this check was written out to somebody, or this check is being written. A company writ this. More than likely, this check is being written from a company to pay somebody. That's how more likely it goes. So there are check numbers that are in sequence, and there are amounts. Most banks call the company and they check the check number and the sequence, the amount and the sequence of the check number to verify the check. And sometimes they even go as far as say, "Hey, well, did you issue this amount to this person?" Just if they, want to be extra safe. And then we all know the information at the bottom of the check, basically the account and route number. So back in the day, probably 10, 15 years ago, people used to basically buy just random checks and you can like put any information that you wanted on there. And people will get certain information and like fools. For example, people used to give fools, get people's account route number, go on these sites, create their own checks, plug it in the information, and have checks sent to them just like that. Then you got people who wash checks using certain different solutions to change, get ink off the check, and then rewrite information or print new information on the check. And then it's gotten to the point where now on the dark web, there are places or people that are creating actual checks, because you got to think about it. Everything out here is being sold. When the banks buy their check paper or get their check paper, they're not getting it for free. They're buying it. So there's a place that's making this paper. So people on the dark web find these places and get this paper. And then they, like I said, compromising hackers are real. Hackers hack into companies' databases and get information. So if a hacker got into a Target, a Walmart, or a Best Buy's database and got their information, the HR information, they now have that company's check template, what check paper they use, where they get it from. All this information is being stored in this database. And now they can go make, now this scammer or hacker can make the exact same check that's being made for these businesses. And that's what they're doing. They are compromising system databases, the HR department in the system, getting the actual templates for these checks, getting the actual roster of employees, getting all this information so they can make fraudulent checks with the correct check number sequence and with the right amounts on these checks. And basically, people are buying these checks as if they're on payroll. So somebody, like, for example, somebody can go on the dark web and find somebody that's doing this exact thing and say, "Hey, I want two checks." So they send somebody two pay periods worth of checks. Like it'd be on time. Like so, whenever the next pay period is for that company that they're going for in that area, that's when the checks is going to be issued. Like they're getting it so precise with these checks that you can't, like, if you put a real check and a fake check side to side, like a Target check. Let's say a Target. If you put a fake Target check and a real Target check side to side, you would not tell the difference from the feel, from the holograms to the ink, all that. Because at the end of the day, this is the real world. All these things that's being done is out there, and people are figuring out ways how to compromise it and get it. And I've actually seen these checks. I've actually seen a Best Buy, Target, multiple different businesses checks, then they look exactly like the real checks, like they do side by sides. The numbers match up and add up and everything. So the evolution of check fraud is definitely going to the next level. So now these people are able to take pictures of these checks, deposit these checks, and get away with it because of the technology, because of the evolution, because of the will and the want to do these things for the scammers and the fraudsters. Wherever there's a will and a want, it's going to happen. People figure out ways. People know when this stuff from some start getting hot and getting burnt out, so they figure out ways how to make it easier for them to commit whatever scheme that they want to commit. People out here compromise, you like you can literally tell somebody like, "Hey, I want to get a check from this company," and the hacker would go to that company, compromise their database, and say how much you want to get from them, and it could be 50, $20,000, and they're making those type of checks. It's getting real out here with these scams and these frauds. See, a lot of people go steal random checks and go cash them, get fake IDs to match the name on the check and all that. They doing they you mean they passing bypassing all that. And it's kind of, I don't want to say clever, but it's kind of clever for them to think about this tactic, this method right here, to get real business checks or create real business checks and with false employees. They also doing it like this with ghost employees too. People are putting fake employees on the payroll and paying these fake people, and scamming that way. So it's just all about being more safe, being more cautious, and being more aware out there because there's so much going on in this real world that we all are living in. And at the end of the day, we can't stop scams, we can't stop fraud, we can't stop anything. But for us to be more safe and be more cautious and be more aware will allow us to know what's going on, which can help us be more to see the red flags and can prevent it from happening to us. So, like I tell you guys all the time, make sure you guys are getting your Norton LifeLock to monitor all your social media and financial accounts to make sure no suspicious activity is going on. And then we'll monitor the dark web to make sure none of your personal information is being sold on there. So make sure you guys are getting your Norton LifeLock. Make sure you guys are freezing all your credit profiles, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. If they're froze, somebody can get anything in your name. Loans, credit cards, lines of credit, cars, apartments, nothing. All right. So make sure you guys are freezing your credit profiles and make sure you guys are getting new debit and credit card numbers every so often. A lot of us keep the same card for the whole time until it expires. We tap, insert, swipe, order online all day, every day. And every time that we do, that information is being stored on a database. So if you get a new card, new information, you basically get a fresh start because that old information is no longer valid. All right. So make sure you guys are staying more safe, staying more cautious, and being more aware of what's going on out there in this real crazy world that we all living in. All right. So with that being said, stay more safe, stay more cautious, and be more aware. Shout out to all my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there because without y'all, there be no me. Y'all motivate me keep going. Y'all motivate me keep dropping the sauce, and y'all motivate me keep y'all entertained. So shout out to all of y'all. Anybody out there that's tired of being broke because it ain't no joke, let's get to work. FaceTime 101 limited gyms are $1,000, but for limited time only, I'm doing it for 600. Yes, 600 Cash App or Bitcoin payment. Once the 600 is on your Cash App or Bitcoin balance, send me a screenshot. Let me know you payment ready, and we will go from there. All right, no screenshots, no replies, no 21 questions, and please do not yell me. Make sure y'all booking y'all seat on these webinars. All right. So on these webinars, we could talk about anything and everything that y'all want to talk about. There's 10 seats available for each one, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now, after doing calculations, if you want to join the webinars for the whole month, it'll be $600. But for one session, it's $250. So do the math on that. You want to chime in. So what's that? 3 6. That's about 12 sessions for $600. Webinars. Talk about anything from business to life. Cause I'm a life coach. I'm a business coach. I'm a credit consultant. So whatever y'all need to talk about, and want to talk about, let's get to it. You want the month-long webinar membership, 600, but one session is 250. So make sure y'all let me know which one y'all want. Send them screenshots when y'all ready. Also, make sure y'all book y'all see on the crypto tour in person limited gyms. The crypto tour, yeah, in person limited gyms, 3,500. Make sure y'all booking y'all seat on the month long mentorship, $1,000. Make sure y'all checking out my vendor platforms on Telegram and the Potato App Millionaire Network. Still looking for people for the production company. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit the all notification bell on my YouTube channels, my Twitches, my IGs, TikToks. Make sure y'all check out the crypto world because it's changing people's lives. Make sure y'all get in here and y'all fit in with these load ups. All right, 120 and up. You want to make this? Let's make it happen. All right. Cash App, Bitcoin payment. Send them screenshots when you're ready. We're going to go from there. All right. And with that being said, y'all know how to get down in these videos. I'll see you at the next lesson video or live. Peace.